Richardson Bay in Mill Valley, where today the JV Tamalpais Red-Tailed Hawks are taking on the JV Lick Wilmerding field hockey team. My name is Dave Harris. I'm going to be on the call for you today. Hopefully we can get some other people to come up and join so you don't have to listen to my voice the entire time. But if you do, welcome and thank you for joining us here on TamTV. Quickly, Tam starts off with a short corner. On your television screen, Tam is going to be going left to right here in the first half. Apologies, we do not have numbers for the Lick Wilmerding team. But sending it in for Tam on the short corner, that's the sophomore, Mallory Arthur. So it looks like right now we have Arthur, the captain, Layla Goldstein, Madison Catherine, the other captain, Cora O'Connell, Hannah Gates, and here on the far right, the ponytail's covering it for me, but it looks like it's probably Kayla Nesbitt, number 18. So no score thus far, and oh my God, I'm so happy to have my good friend Derek Scobie. Derek, how are you, my friend?
Well, varsity just took a difficult loss, so
they did.
So I've had better days.
We'll talk a little bit about that varsity game, but it was the Tam High Hawks' first loss in conference. Is that correct, Scope?
I believe that is true.
Yeah.
It has been. It's an interesting season in conference overall. I think there's lots of ups and downs with different teams. That's good. I think we want to have games like that.
Yeah.
I think that the Hawks got to look back on that one and.
Goldstein with a shot on goal.
There we go.
And they finds the back of the cage. We're going to get back to talking about the varsity, but right here, the Tamalpais Red-Tailed Hawks score for the first time today in the program, taking a 1-0 lead over Lick Wilmerding. Scopes, do you know the name of the mascot for Lick?
I think it's the Tigers.
The Tigers, okay.
I think it's the Tigers. It's definitely a big cat.
Okay.
And it looks, how tigers have kind of got that fluffy mane?
Uh-huh.
It's like usually little jointy, pointy out white bits.
Right.
It looks like that.
Okay, well, let's go with the Tigers until someone tells us otherwise.
Yeah. It could be like a lynx, but I think that's a little bit obscure.
Okay, well, then we're going to go with the Tigers. And
the lynx, of course, being the only wildcat that's ever existed in Scotland. It was recently reintroduced in a rewilding program.
In Scotland?
In Scotland.
Interesting.
Because we killed them all, including our bears.
I hope that those little fur tassels that you lent me when I was wearing my kilt weren't made out of lynx, were they?
They were not. So they're called flash.
The ones that cover, on the.
Oh, yeah. They are just tassels. No, they were. Sheep most likely.
Sheep, okay.
In the Highland clearances in Scotland, over 1 million people were moved out of their homes forcibly to be able to make way for sheep farming.
Was that right?
Mm-hmm. Decimated the Highland population by more than 50%, and it's why Canada has so many Scottish people in it.
Wow. How do we explain the number? How do we explain the huge Scottish population here in Mill Valley?
Well, I think it's because Mill Valley looks like a little European town. It's got a downtown, there's one road in, there's one road out. It's not really like American suburbia.
Okay.
It's certainly not because the house prices are so high, because Scottish people are generally known as being quite tight.
They are. Well, I personally am glad that so many have darkened our door here in Mill Valley. So back here to the action. Tam's leading the Tigers 1-0. There's Cora O'Connell. Oh, and Cora gets the call, goes back over to Lick. It's a strange. Oh, there's Layla Goldstein, the leading scorer for the JV Hawks, but quickly taken away by Lick. Strange weather day here in Mill Valley, wouldn't you say, Scopes?
We've had rain. I thought it was going to get cool, but it just stayed muggy, and then we got a little bit of rain, and then we got a lot of cloud, and then we got a bit of sun.
Yeah, it's odd, but I think it's supposed to heat back up towards the end of the week. So as the Redwoods cast their late afternoon shadow over the field here at Tam High, it feels to be about 70 degrees here on the shores of Richardson Bay. It's actually a very comfortable evening for a field hockey match.
It's pretty nice, actually. Although I'll still take the humidity down double digits.
Yeah, a little too humid.
A little for me. And someone last night was complaining that the Marin is awash with flies as a result. So many people are struggling with the flies, the damper weather apparently suits fly reproduction.
It's funny you say that because earlier today, one of our mutual friends was celebrating his birthday, and we were having a little round out at Mill Valley, and it was kind of the rain was coming in and out, and there were a lot of bugs. We were commenting on there was almost felt like there were mosquitoes out on the course or something today. It was odd, very strange.
Penalty corner to Tam. Penalty corner. All right, JV have come out firing here. They look really up for it.
So here's Mallory Arthur. Going to send it in from the short corner for the Hawks. Thus far, here about halfway through the first quarter, the JV Hawks have largely dominated. A big shot by Goldstein that goes just to the left of the cage. The Hawks have seemed to dominate time and possession here in the first half, something that the varsity was not able to surprisingly do in the previous game.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot for the coaches to look back on that game, to figure out what didn't work out in varsity. But the maintaining possession and using possession definitely was one part of it.
Yeah. So Lick's trying to move the ball, but Tam's wall is just preventing it. There's Goldstein, pushes towards the cage, looks for a pass, sends it in. There's Arthur swiping at it. Goldstein gets it back. And back over to Lick. Yeah, it looks like just if you look on the north end of the end zone, the varsity team seems a bit solemn as they kind of are sitting and chatting, talking about probably what happened there in the first half. And this is it's a regular season game. I'm sure Lick, the varsity team, looked like a team that Tam will probably, no pun intended, get another lick at sometime here in the playoffs. So there's Cora. Number 6, Hannah Gates. Yeah, Lick gets it over the 50. Sends it in. Back over to Tam. So the Hawks have an overall record, the JV Red-Tail Hawks have an overall record of 5-1-2. They are in the league, they are 4-1-1. They are coming off of I don't have their last. So apologies. I'm looking at the Max Prep statistics, which is kind of what I rely upon, but some of them have not been updated.
But I don't think they played against Convent. Is that right? They did not. Convent did not bring in.
They did not. Yeah, that's correct.
A JV team. So the last team game would have been MC then, right?
So the tie is 0-0.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's the last game. That's the last game that seems to be recorded. Looks like they had games scheduled against University, but that's.
Oh, they would have played University.
Did we play University?
Yeah.
They're not. They don't seem to be recorded as yet.
Sorry, everyone. It's the the proverbial blind leading the blind here. And, not in any way to denigrate actual blind people. It was a proverb.
Thank you for that. So Lick, pushes it in. And there's Hannah Gates clearing it out, sends it over, and Tam gets it past the 50. Hawks giving chase. That is number 10, Maggie Maher. Maggie looking for a pass. Apologies if I mispronounce any of the Hawks names, and please feel free to come correct me if you're listening to the game live or sometime afterwards. It's doing our best here to make sure that we pronounce names as best we can. So
I think it's a good blanket statement to make near the beginning of the game, Dave. You know, and it covers you for any future infractions.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
A
A sizable roster we have here for the JV. You know, I'm sure we'll talk about it more as the game goes on, but it's really impressive to have two teams here at TAM, and to have as many girls participating on both teams. We've got, looks like, I mean, just a quick review of the roster. Looks like there's over 20 players on this TAM JV team. Centering pass. Back over to Lick. So Scubs, we were having during the varsity game, there was a conversation in the stands about whether Lick is part of MCAL. MCAL obviously stands for the Marin County Athletic League. Are teams like Lick and University, are they part of MCAL?
For the purposes of field hockey, yes.
So they are.
But only I think for field hockey.
Lacrosse also? No, they're not. Okay.
And so we'll play University at lacrosse, but it's a non-conference game.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the reasoning. I wonder if it's kind of like historical, in that they were traditionally like the weaker teams in the city bracket, and then so as the Marin teams were getting going, it was like a fairer competition for them to join us.
Okay.
And, you know, we still only have like a handful. I mean, not all schools participate in Marin yet.
Right. Technically, in the Marin, so it would be Redwood, TAM, Marin Catholic, and Archie. Are there any other actual Marin County-based schools that are in field hockey?
Not in field hockey for now.
Okay.
But the game is growing, and the club game is growing quickly.
Okay. Well, so that brings us to the end of the first quarter, and the Hawks have a 1-0 lead. Pretty good quarter for the Hawks. They had a few more scoring opportunities that they're probably going to wish that would have found pay dirt. But it's nice to have a lead here starting after one quarter of play. So we're back here at the start of the second quarter. Again, Hawks with a 1-0 lead. Looks like we're going to have some substitutions to start here in the second half. Just to give you some names, Ella Ames is out there. Number 10, Maggie Maher. Number 22, Brooke Townsend. Number 3, Amelia Narganes. Number 14, Leah Hawken. Leah's mom is here. Leah, excuse me. Leah, that's exactly what I was looking for, the correction. Thank you so much. Leah, and Lick starts with the ball. Quickly intercepted by the Hawks. Back over to Lick. So, yeah, so at the end of the first quarter, Scopes, we were talking about the fact that the Field Hockey League, technically while called MCAL, actually has a few teams from the city, and even Berkeley, I suppose, they're also part of MCAL, right?
Yes, good question. I think so.
I mean, we seem to play them a home game and away game every year. So there's Townsend.
But still no NCS or state for field hockey. I wonder how soon that'll change. I feel like participation through the state of California is growing quickly.
It certainly is.
And I'm sure that there's plenty of teams that would like to go at a more regionalized tournament.
That's right. So I forgot about that. So the farthest that this team, or the varsity team, because the JV doesn't even have NCS, isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So the farthest that any of these teams can go is the MCAL final.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I would think that you're going to have to see probably an expansion at some point in time, because this really is growing. In fact, there were some 8th graders that I was talking to in the stands during the last game who are excited to get up here and start playing field hockey next year. They're currently training with that Rippers program.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds like it's growing. And, in years past, you would never talk to someone who's in middle school and who would be playing field hockey. So it's exciting to see this sport growing.
I agree.
There's Townsend, a third-generation Townsend to be playing field hockey here at TAM. Her older sister Ashley is now over at Cal. You saw her sister Lauren playing in the varsity game. And there's Brooke, number 22. And, in fact, there's one more on the way, and I'm sure we'll see her in a not-too-distant future. So Lick's pushing, but their effort thwarted by the Hawks, sent up to Townsend, and back over to Lick. Looks like a foot right there. Interesting that a school the size of Lick can have two field hockey teams. Back over to Tam.
I mean, I would say that as long as I've been connected to this, so that's 5 years. I mean, Lick has always been considered one of the central hockey teams in the program. So maybe they've just been playing for longer. Maybe like people expect to go to Lick and be able to play field hockey. It's great.
That's great. Yes. Where does Lick play? Where does Lick play its home games?
Okay, so I've actually been, but I can't take any credit for this because, after the last game, somebody was discussing this, and we believe it's at San Francisco Community College.
Oh, down off of.
So on the other side of the road from SF State.
Yeah.
Is that right? Kind of in that area.
Yeah, that's where City College is over there.
City College, that's
near,
the one.
Yeah, City College near the kind of Stonestown, San Francisco State area.
That's
but
right,
it's on
right.
the east side of 19th Avenue.
That's
down
exactly right.
Brotherwood Avenue, and that
Brotherhood
and down that
Way.
Brotherhood Way.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, that's a good crossfield ball.
really nice.
That's unfortunate.
So, and I don't know. Have we already played our away game against? We have, haven't we?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
I think varsity drew and junior varsity. I think 1-3-0.
Okay.
2-0.
Okay. Lick sends it in. Stopped by number 9. Unfortunately, my roster doesn't have a number 9 on it, so apologies to the Hawk. Substitution. Out comes number 19, Ella Ames. In comes number 2, Allie Schulenson. There's number 14, Leah Hawken. And Amelia battles, sends it back in for the Hawks. Gets it over to number 4, Sadie Baker. Oh. Sadie, short corner for the Hawks. Coach Iona calling all the players into a huddle here just under the Hawks' nest. And Tam sends it in. Shot on goal. Ricochets off a couple people and then kicked away. Back to another short corner for the Hawks.
Good corners these by the JV guys.
Sends it in. There's a shot by Baker. Townsend battling for it. Brooke keeps it in. And Tam will take possession at the top. So that's Hawken with the ball at the top. Sends it back over to number 24, Hunter Zenner. Hunter keeps it in for the Hawks. And Coco Harris is in the goal. Coco keeps it in. There's Townsend. Townsend sends it down. Schulenson looking for the pass, centering pass. There's Townsend. Oh, back over to Lick. So we have a game here today of substitution. Out comes number 22, Brooke Townsend. And in number 16, the sophomore, Kip Cashin. There's number 14, Hawken. Sends it down to the corner, looking for number 2, Allie Schulenson. Number 16, Kip Cashin keeps it in for the Hawks. Kip looking to center it. Nice strong pass. Back through. Oh, back over. Not clear. Oh, it's going to be a Hawk ball. Hawken looks for a pass to Kip Cashin, but Lick steals it. Good hustle by Cashin to keep it in for the Hawks. Baker and Amelia battling for the ball, but the referee Rafa says it's a kick, or a foot, excuse me, and sends it back to the Tigers. That's Schulenson. Schulenson fighting for the ball. Over to Cashin. Cashin looking for a pass. Nice one.
Unlucky with that ball there.
Oh, Hawken had a nice corner look pass.
Good movement. Passing was crisp. So Dave, both the varsity, junior varsity team will head to Redwood on Friday.
That's going to be a big one.
Tough set of games there. It'll be on Redwood's new field.
What when you say new?
Yeah, they got a new. Their Gelotti field at the back has been replaced.
It has been replaced. I didn't even know that it needed. Did it need? Obviously, it needed a replacement.
I mean, not as much as the Tam field needs replaced. But that's how the district makes their choices.
Well, and there might be some influence by the name of that field itself, the Gelati, an old Marin family. Although there's lots of different Gelati businesses. The one most well known to most is the construction company.
We're very happy to have
pass it!
Gelotti Construction as a banner partner of ours. Tam, they have a banner down at the far end of the field.
Looks beautiful. Yeah, a very nice banner. Sticks out well. I don't know which one of the. I can't tell which business that is from here.
I think that's construction. I think that's what it says along the top of that. I was down putting some new banners out yesterday. So
I heard that. I had dinner with Galen Archibald, the head of banners for the TAM Boosters, and I heard that we even had a little help from a former board member, Darren Firestein.
Not just a former board member, but former president, Darren Firestein. Thank you, Redwood Credit Union, for coming back on board. Thank you, Farallon Water Polo, for coming on board. Thank you to Mint Studio for coming on board. Thank you to the Hivery for coming on board. And thank you to Malagani Tire for re-upping your investment. We appreciate all the help from our business partners.
Well, we need them. And Derek and I will talk a little bit more at halftime about the booster program, which is what helps allow us to have the depth and breadth of sports teams that we have here at Tam High. And a big thanks go to all the families who make their family booster donation, as well as Derek was mentioning, all the companies local who also are business partners and who have banners along the fences of Miller Avenue here at the field and along the baseball fields as well. So back over to Tam. We've got just about 20 seconds left here in the half. Kind of I don't want to use the word sleepy, but just kind of a back and forth first half. Tam got one in early, and since then there haven't been a tremendous number of scoring opportunities for the Hawks. So we're done now with the first half of play here at Sam Chapman Stadium. There's no one scored in the second quarter. So after a half of play, it's the Tamalpais Redtail Hawks 1 and the Lick Wilmerding Tigers nothing. Scopes, thank you for staying in and calling here for the first half. I know you might not be able to say the entire game, but while we have you here, briefly, let's talk a little bit about TAM Boosters. Derek is the president of TAM Boosters. He's the new president this year, taking over for Darren Firestein. And while we still have it, look at the beautiful rainbow off in the distance. Looks like it's kind of setting over Horse Hill right now. Absolutely beautiful.
I may just have to switch on the secondary camera for people to get that. Steve, hold on. All right, let's just.
A beautiful rainbow on a strange weather day. As I look to the south over Richardson Bay, we have blue skies. And as you move north, it gets darker. But look at that beautiful rainbow setting over Enchanted Knolls, and in the background, Horse Hill.
Also slightly ominous clouds, though. You know, there's a darkness to those clouds suggesting they're holding moisture. Could be in for a little bit of a wet one later this evening. Let's see where those go.
And, Scopes, is there any stoppage of play in field hockey? Oh, here we go.
I mean, not so much. So they don't do lightning delay. I mean, they do lightning delay for all high school sports, right? But threat of lightning they don't do, because unlike in lacrosse, you're not waving around metal sticks.
Okay, right.
So in lacrosse, you're basically waving around a lightning conductor.
Right.
So whenever there's the threat, I think but whereas here, if it rains, you're going to play. In fact, actually, rain makes field hockey easier because it slicks up the field, and the ball moves faster. On a professional hockey field, they'll actually water it before the game and during the quarter breaks.
I remember when the team went last year to Cal to watch a game. In between quarters, sprinklers would come on and they would water the field.
It's it's the same as what's it called? The
Zamboni.
The
Zamboni in hockey.
It's the same as the Zamboni in ice hockey.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, well, you're unfortunately you're getting the pleasure at home of seeing under the burqa.
Here's the magic.
Here's where it all happens up here in the Hawk's Nest. Back to talking a little bit up, and Ms. Hawken over here in the you're on the. There we go. This is the Hawk's Nest right here.
The Hawkins Nest.
Oh, the Hawkins Nest. The Hawkins Nest. So briefly, so all we have a few minutes. Talk about boosters. We have a budget that's given to us by the state for athletics, but that covers just about roughly half of what's needed in order to have all the TAM sports teams that we have. So how do we go about making up that other half in order to be able to have all the teams that we have?
Yeah, that's right, Dave. So I think there's two principal ways in which we do that. So first of all, we ask for contributions from the families of athletes and the carers of athletes themselves. That contribution level nets out around about $250 per person per season. And so if your kid plays in a fall sport and a spring sport, the ask will be $500. And so that number essentially helps us pay for equipment, for facilities upgrades, for uniforms, for coaching development, for travel, for certain away games. And so all the things that essentially make it possible to run like competitive athletics programs.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too long ago. I think we've now had, how many years has it been that we've had two field hockey teams here at TAM?
We've had a JV team for the last 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I remember when my daughter first started playing field hockey a long, long time ago. There was one team, and actually, in fact, let me correct myself. When she went out as a freshman, there was only one team, and in fact, at that time, only 4 girls as that freshmen made the field hockey team, which meant that there were only 4 total freshmen playing field hockey because we only had one team. Now we have this JV team that looks like, and I'm just quickly looking at my roster, it looks like we have at least a dozen freshmen playing on the JV team alone.
And boosters have funded things like a second set of goals. We've replaced the main goals. That allows us to double up the number of players that we can have training on a single evening. We now have nearly 60 players playing every evening as JV and varsity coach themselves. We've doubled up on the goalie kit. The goalie kit is thousands of dollars to keep those goalies safe. That's a really expensive part. We've doubled up on the number of sticks that we're able to provide, so girls are not prevented from playing because they don't own their own stick. Yeah. And we obviously have to double up on things like uniforms, etc., to have those programs. And then that's true of all the sports. So, when we're thinking about getting that money in for boosters, we're really thinking about how we can maximize participation, we can maximize TAM's competitiveness, and we can make sports like a great experience for as many of the kids at TAM as possible.
That's great. Do you know what percentage of kids here at TAM play at least one sport?
It ends up being more than 50% of kids in a given year. So around about 850 kids will participate in some kind of sport at some point in the year.
That's tremendous. I mean, to have the opportunity to get half the student body out participating on a team sport that's just tremendous. So, again, if you have not yet had an opportunity to make your TAM Booster donation this year, please go to tamboosters.com. On that website, you will find a link where you can go and make your booster donation. And, again, thanks to all of the families and the businesses who've support TAM Boosters and these athletes and allow us to have these sports. So, here we are at the beginning of the second half. Once again, the score is 1-0. TAM over Lick Wilmerding. This half, the Hawks will be going right to left on your screen. And there's back to TAM. There's the captain, Layla Goldstein, battling for the ball.
A huge weekend for sport, Dave. Like, as I said, we've got field hockey at Redwood to kick us off on Friday. Then varsity and JV football go up to Justin Siena and play under the lights on Friday
How
evening.
exciting. Friday Night
very,
Lights.
Very exciting. And then, of course, like what we have is the ongoing Ryder Cup. It's the Ryder Cup to take us through, punctuated with a number of big college football clashes over Saturday. More Ryder Cup on Sunday. What a great weekend to just really get stuck into that sofa.
A phenomenal week. Oh, Goldstein catches it right in the leg, and there's a timeout in play. It's a great weekend of sports. And then I think the next weekend, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 2 weeks from now, we have homecoming.
That's the Saturday the 11th.
Saturday the 11th? Okay. Saturday the 11th. And Saturday the 11th, we also will be
Give me a mild panic attack there, Dave, because we have the Tam High Hall of Fame also aligned with homecoming. Tam High Hall of Fame being brought to you by Boosters, the first time we've ever had that. Still got a lot of work to do to get there. We're still looking for business partners for that, looking for community contributions for that amazing event. But I would say we are now sold out of tickets.
So the event itself is now sold out?
It's sold out.
That's really exciting.
Full house for that day. We've already got a wait list for folks on that amazing event on 11th of October.
So the 11th of October, the inaugural Hall of Fame for Tam High will be well, it's already been announced, but that's the day that they're going to be officially inducted into the first ever Tam High Hall of Fame. It's very exciting. There's an event taking place, which, as Derek mentioned, is sold out at the Tam Valley Community Center.
Yes, the Tam Valley Community Center.
Exciting. So any businesses or families who want to help support and sponsor that there's an example of is that an example right there, Scobes, of the ball when it goes in the air and did not have a 5-meter landing spot within it to fall?
Yeah, I think that you're going to find it very difficult to find that kind of space to land an aerial ball in the scoring circle.
Yeah. So, as a result of that illegal pass in, the ball goes back over to Tam.
Just want to say a big shout out to Blue Anchor Building from Sausalito, who have come on board as one of our principal corporate partners. We really appreciate you. To Cobb Winery, who are part of the class of 88, have also come on board as a provider. Ross Cobb, that's right.
Yeah.
So thank you to Ross and thank you to the winery.
These are all, and this is all for the Hall of Fame event, yes?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We have in-kind donation from CMS, who do corporate media systems and are helping to provide our audio and visual for the evening.
Amazing.
And then we have a few others in the works. So we're really excited about bringing on more business partners, people being able to demonstrate their love for TAM through the ages.
It's incredible. It's hard to believe, and I know we've talked about this on other telecasts, that a school as old as Tam High doesn't have a Hall of Fame until now. And I know it was the brainchild of one of the TAM Booster board members, Brian Murphy, who's also a graduate of Tam High, and the booster board and the entire organization got behind it, and it's really exciting. How many folks are going to be sent into the inaugural Hall of Fame class scopes?
So there'll be legends who essentially are in the Maroon Hall of Fame from 1960 and before, back to TAM's founding. Mm-hmm. That's 62 legends who are there, so we want to make sure that they get recognized. And then we'll have 12 inductees, so 2 from each decade, from the 60s through to present day. And those 12 cover players, they cover coaches, and cover teams.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are they going to be? Are many of those inductees going to be showing up to the actual event on the 11th?
Oh, yeah, there's going to be tons. So we're going to, there's a great chance to meet many of them. We're going to make sure that we get plenty of video of them. We want to hear how, TAM athletics helped to shape them. And it's going to be a great opportunity to hear some really fabulous stories from TAM athletics past.
It's going to be exciting. Well, I'm looking forward to the event. TAM sends it in. Layla, who was hit earlier, still seems like she's laboring a little bit on that leg that she took the ball in. Back over to Lick.
Tom Hawkin just showed up with post-match snacks. I tell you what, they look pretty good.
Really?
I wouldn't put them in the healthy category, but I would put them in the tasty category.
Well,
and I think that's the right thing.
Right down in the it's not snacks for us. Unfortunately,
there's a very large box of single-serve chips with my name on it. I think.
I'm very familiar with that Costco box right there. Safeway. Tam Hawk. He
has met the brief.
Well, he's done the job. So snacks are ready for after the game, but we still have a bit of a ways to go here. We're about halfway through the third quarter. Battling for the ball and sending it up is number 21, Madison Catherine, over to Goldstein. Goldstein with the backhanded cross center. Yep, pass. And it's going to be a short corner to the Hawks.
I really like the fact that Goldstein just took that immediate hit into the middle. One of the big things in field hockey, I think, is having enough space to do something constructive in that middle. And so getting the ball over early means that we don't have 4 or 5 defenders piling back there and getting themselves in front of the ball.
That's a tough pass to do, too, as well. That was obviously a backhand, kind of a left-handed pass where she laid her stick down horizontally across the field in order to get it in. So Mallory sends it to Goldstein, who gets – and a shot and a goal! That was a beautiful short corner by the Hawks. Sent in by Mallory Arthur to Layla Goldstein. Goldstein sends the shot hard on. It looked like, I don't know if the replay shows who scored the goal. I think it might have been tipped in by Mallory Arthur. It looks like it was, because she's the one who carried the ball back to the center, which is generally an indication that she's the one who scored the goal. Isn't that right, Scott?
That's right. So here's the replay. They go straight to number 1. And then Mallory's got herself in a great position on the outside, and importantly on the outside of the post. So she's not getting herself in the way of the ball. Her stick's not going to get in the way of the goal. She gets the tip on through the goalie's legs directly into the back of it. Yeah.
What a timeout with 4:33. Hold on, Rafa, the referee is giving us an indication. The clock is off right now. The referee would like 4:53 to be put onto the time. We're going to add an additional 20 seconds to the time of play left here in the third quarter. 4:53. Here we go. So the Hawks take the 2-0 lead. Scopes, would you say that was was that a play that the Hawks drew up, meaning that it was from Mallory to Layla, and then she puts it on, and Mallory would redirect it into the goal?
Yeah, for sure. I think that coming off a short corner, I don't think it's ever indeliberate. Like, they've got a plan. They're going to 1, 2, or 3 usually. And they've got to move from there. So I think that that's a really well-executed plan. They'll feel really good about themselves about that goal this evening.
Beautiful goal for the Hawks. So the Hawks give themselves a little bit of breathing room, although certainly not adequate at this point in time for a formidable team like the JV Lick Wilmerding Tigers. So we've got the scoreboard fixed, and with 4:53 to play here in the third quarter, Lick runs back onto the field. Sometimes it's hard up here in the Hawks Nest. While we have a gorgeous view of the field, sometimes it's hard to get an indication from the referees as to what they're intending and wanting us to do. So Rafa came over and added the 20 seconds appropriately back onto the clock, and it'll be Lick's ball after the TAM goal.
Just going back to boosters for a second, a really savvy local business called the North Bay Law Group was one of the first to put their banner on the baseball field, just by the corner near the teacher's car park. There are now only 4 spots left on that particular part of the field, so you want to get a good spot, then you might want to get in a hurry.
Yeah, I think that's nice of you to say. It's a very beautiful, high-profile spots over there. As you're driving out of town past Tam High and Gus Gym on your right, those banners are angled, and there are a few more spots left. So act quickly if you're a business that would like to claim one of those high-profile spots along Miller Avenue. So Lick battling number 21, Madison Catherine. Loses the ball to Lick. Layla stops the ball, but it goes off of Tam. So in for Goldstein is number 10, the freshman, Maggie Maher. Contested by Hannah Gates. Back over to the Hawks. Hannah with a nice strong shot in, but picked off by, and kicked by Lick, so back over to Tam.
That's a good tomahawk.
Really nice entering pass by Hunter Zenner.
Hard to execute.
Back over to number 5. There's the captain, Cora O'Connell. Cora over to Ames. And Hannah keeps it in for the Hawks. Or battles at least. But Lick's able to swip it away. Good hustle there by number 18, Kayla Nesbitt. So the ball goes back over to the Hawks. Very nice entering pass there by number 24, Hunter Zenner.
What I love about that is Hunter's always looking for the diagonal ball. She's looking for space up the line. You know, we saw that Layla's insert from the deep corner a few minutes ago was really effective in putting the defense under pressure. So it's exactly the right way to be playing that clear by Hunter.
That's great. Hunter only a freshman, but playing really well for the Hawks. There's Maher, the freshman. There's Cora. Cora to Hunter. And Lick gets it across midfield, but just as quickly collapsed on and sent back in by Hunter. There's Maggie, number 10, looking for Ames. Ames with a nice centering pass. Just past number 10, Maggie Maher. And it looks like it's going to be a Lick ball. So just about 1 minute here to play here in the third quarter. Tam has scored another goal this quarter to give themselves a 2-0 lead. But Lick is now pushing up. Chased down by O'Connell and sent back up the field. So, Scopes, we're just about halfway through the season. Is that right at this point in time?
I actually think JV may only have 3 weeks left.
Is that right?
Because there's no postseason for JV. We only play a regular season conference. And so, whilst I think we're probably about halfway through the full field hockey season, for many of these girls, they're starting to turn towards the twilight part of the
twilight part. I know in some sports, when the JV season ends, they will bring up to varsity a handful of players. Does that also happen in field hockey?
I think it's tradition. I think also it's just a smart play by the coaches, because they've got to be thinking about who are they losing from a senior perspective. How do they give some of those players a sense of what it is to be in varsity? So I think they will likely do that when we get to that end point in the JV season. Actually, the way that I would say that CIF has changed its rules a little. So it used to be that once you were signed on to either the varsity or junior varsity squad in any of the sports, you had to stick with that program. You were not allowed to move between programs. And actually what they've allowed as of last year is they've allowed players to move more fluidly between programs during the season. They can't just do it on the same game day.
Got it.
So, you can't play for varsity in the morning and then junior varsity in the afternoon.
That would make sense.
But you could, for instance, if you have like an injury to an important player, and you don't have good cover for them, you can bring someone up for JV from that. If you've got a JV player who's showing a lot of talent, you don't have to wait till the end of the season to bring them up. So the coaches do have more flexibility to do that.
But once they're up, do they have to stay up,
Nope.
or they can go back and forth? Okay.
Yeah. I guess the question for the coaches is, what's best for the players? Do you want to keep them gelled as a unit? Do you want to just try and take advantage of as many of them as possible? I think that's like I would say in most cases, I think that the teams are staying together.
Got it.
And it's relatively rare for players to bounce between the two, even though it's now possible.
Got it. So Coach Iona, in the middle of the sidelines, instructing her team, who currently has a 2-goal lead, and we're going to be entering with just about 20 seconds here left between quarters on an absolutely beautiful Wednesday evening here on the shores of Richardson Bay. The rainbow is now gone, but the clouds remain. All right, so there they are. Starting the fourth quarter, the captains lead the team in their cheer. The traditional Hawks on me, Hawks on 3. 1, 2, 3 Hawks. And the teams go back out onto the field to start this fourth and final quarter of the game. Hawks will inbound the ball with a 2-0 lead. 12:30 to go here in the game.
And Dave, as is now customary as we head into the fourth quarter, my mind starts to turn to dinner.
What are you thinking, Scobes?
Well, I'm thinking, somebody said Costco earlier, and I'm sure that like our downstairs freezer probably has a ton of like egg rolls and gyoza. I'm thinking about maybe some like fried rice and like a
dim sum dinner of
maybe
sorts.
Maybe something like that.
Some dumplings, some soup dumplings, some
must
pot
have
stickers.
some soup dumplings in there as well.
Oh my God, you're making me salivate.
Nice and bits and pieces. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I speaking of dim sum, it's something that we love to get in our family, and we go to on special occasions over to Harmony and Strawberry, who have.
It's a nice spot.
Great dim sum. But I've had that dim sum that you're referring to at Costco, and it's real good. That's it.
It ain't half bad.
So a nice centering pass.
That's a great. Unlucky.
So it was a beautiful pass down to number 19, Ella Ames. Ella puts a shot on goal, but it just goes left of the cage, back over to Lick.
But Ella did exactly the right thing there. She pushed the ball out away from the defender, gave herself space for the shot. Didn't quite come off the stick the way she wanted it to, but other than that, she did everything perfectly.
Earlier you used the term a diagonal pass. What is a diagonal pass?
It's not dissimilar from soccer. I think what we want to do is get the ball out to the wings. I think the easiest ball to defend is the one that's coming straight at you. And so whether we are in the center or we are like towards the side, we want to get the ball up the wings diagonally. It's harder for players to position themselves.
Okay.
Should be easier. So we're looking for like triangles. We're looking for diagonal balls. That's just it's harder to defend against that.
Nice hustle by Maher to get it down. Oh, and it goes back over to Lick. So the diagonal pass is kind of a more passing in and out and in and out, as we're referring to.
That's right. And I think that the team is, the formation they have allows them to play in lots of different triangles and diamonds. And anybody who's used to like a soccer setup will know that that's the trick.
In soccer, traditionally, many people are probably more familiar with, there being a striker, a midi, and a defender. Is that the same kind of setup that you have in field hockey, or how many lines of positions are there in field hockey?
It's I think it's quite similar. I would say that the midfield in field hockey tends to be a little more spread out. We have like this sense of upper and midder, upper and lower, like a central defensive midfield, a central attacking midfield kind of setup.
Middies play both ways, though. Generally, they'll play on offense and defense, similar to how
middies play both ways, but we play usually with two deep fullbacks in field hockey, so there tends to be plenty cover. In reality, like we shouldn't have to have our upper middies like scrambling back to like be an important part of the D. Like we should have other cover for that.
Yep.
I think the central midfielder in field hockey is traditionally a defensive player, so they're playing a little deeper. Although, I mean, what we really want to see is them also kind of directing offensive play, so getting that ball out wide, getting the speedier wingers with the ball and the chance to kind of cut the ball back and across into the goal.
So these two, like for example, the two players that are kind of playing back here on offense, number 8, Coco Harrison, number 12, Abigail Imwal, are those technically defenders right there?
We sometimes call them halfbacks.
Okay.
That's a good bit of play. We call them halfbacks, and they are technically midfielders, really.
Okay, got it. So quickly stop by Maher. Maher over to Catherine. Stolen by Lick. And Catherine steals it back just as quickly. There's Maher pushing it up hard quickly on the left-hand side. Some nice stick work from this freshman. Oh, couple. There they are. Foots over to Lick. Scopes, we appreciate, I was talking to some people even today who are listening to our last telecast, and they appreciate the explanations you provide to many of us out here who are not as familiar with the game of field hockey.
Well, I think we should just be clear on how that happens. So what I do is I say something one week and it's completely wrong. And then at least 2 people in my household correct me over a series of hours and meal times.
Okay, good.
So that I'm ready to not make the same mistake twice, Steve.
Well,
That's
you know
all
what?
I'm trying to do.
You know, you say it with such conviction that anything you say I would believe, Scopes. that I can promise you. So, Lick sends the ball in on their end. You know, I love these TAM booster tents that we have here, Scopes. But I do know that they were blocking the view of lots of the folks in the stands today. And they were saying, and I know that they were originally put up because we were expecting rain, and there was some rain. But I know some of the folks that were sitting in the stands were hoping that maybe we can take these down in future games so there's a better view from the stands. So there's a kick.
I think it would probably be relatively easy to move these until there was rain.
Yeah.
And then only bring them in when essential.
Yeah, I think.
Also, just for local property tax players, it's a good example of why we need to invest in TAM sporting facilities and get these bleachers up higher.
That's a great point.
The other way to solve that is to have like a higher vantage position.
That would be build these things. Maybe even have some bleachers on the other side of the fields.
How about some lights?
How about some lights? We'd love that. You know, they were supposed to have their first ever Friday night lights against Marin Catholic worked hard to get lights approved for their field. And in fact, last week was supposed to be the first night game against our own TAM Hawks. And unfortunately, something happened locally that prevented that from occurring. And I'm told that Marin Catholic is going to have their first Friday night lights this Friday at a football game. And it would be, I know it's something that TAM we would love to have. We'll love here to have here someday as well.
I mean, I'd love to have it for so many reasons. I mean, obviously, just like the history and the pastimeness of Friday Night Lights, but also, really importantly, you know, TAM only has one field. We have all these different.
Catherine
sports.
pushing. Sorry, Scopes. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but
You're all good.
Yep. Sorry, but yes, oh wait, Maher whiffs, and back over to Lick. No, it's something that you're saying. There's a huge contingent of the TAM population that would love to have lights. I know that we've talked about it in boosters, and there's been other side conversations and meetings, and that would certainly be something that all of us would love to see. Because as you were saying, there's a finite amount of field space, and when we have this number of teams, we need to have they all need to be able to share this space, and if they could practice in the evening, it would make it that much easier. I don't see the light. In years past, we've had lights on the side of the field for football and field hockey. What's going on with that this year, Scopes?
There will be, but it's probably just later in the season. Okay. So
maybe after the time change.
I think after the time change is when it happens.
Okay.
I think that's the agreement with the local community. But just so folks know, when we get to next year, TAM will have its own flag football team. They also are a full sport.
Wow.
So we're going to be bringing in another competitive athletic venture in the same season. already like the field hockey teams and the football teams are jostling for the time, not just to play games, but also to practice at a large public high school that only has one field. And at some point, like that evening time is going to seem really precious. And so either it can be like years worth of development for the local community to have like more fields and like more dusty construction done, or maybe it's time for us to get some lights.
It would be. I know that's something that lots of folks would really love to get behind and support. Would be some lights, and it was a great thing when Marin Catholic was able to prevail and get lights on in their stadiums. Hopefully, that can be a precedent that we can follow. We can follow down here as well.
And I think I haven't seen Marin Catholic set up, but I was so impressed by San Rafael's. So anybody who is concerned about the potential impact of the lights should go have a look at San Rafael's. Super low profile, very little light pollution to the other local area. Just a really good design. Like what we have now for lights is like so different from the old kind of like big glaring ones that were there in the past.
For sure. It surprises me that we have lights over the swimming pool, and those lights are on well into the evening. And if you go and look at it, they don't seem to be obtrusive, and they're allowed down closer to the actual school itself. Nice pass up to Catherine. Catherine pushing. Back over to short corner. So anyways, hopefully that's something that's in the offing. I know boosters would certainly get behind that and support it, and we'll see if we can get that going sometime, Scopes.
Sounds like a plan.
Good.
For the next president.
Well, fortunately, we know we have at least a few more years with you here at the helm. Couple, actually, right?
1.5.
To be exact.
Term limits.
All right. So here we are. This is Catherine going to send the short corner in for the Hawks.
Hawks have been tight from the corners this game, so I'm excited for this one.
So Catherine sends it in to number 4, Baker. Baker with a big, strong shot. Blocked by Lick, but the ball stays down in the TAM area.
That was a well-executed corner from TAM and a great bit of defending from Lick.
Number 14, Hawken. Sends it in.
Unlucky. Unlucky was a good idea.
Out of bounds. Back
that's coming back to TAM.
Oh, it's coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go.
So I think that Hawkins' ball just took a deflection off. It's coming back to TAM.
Great.
Yep. It took a deflection off one of the sticks as it went out.
So there's Hawken.
I actually still don't know what line they're supposed to take things from.
Well, Scopes, to be honest with you, I don't know why or sometimes do you take the ball at the top and why do you take a short corner? What's the difference? When does one does one happen versus the other?
It's just the designation of the foul. So like a ball hit out of play indeliberately is just a possession. And that used to be what was called a long corner, and you play it from the corner. But what was decided was that the long corner was really disadvantageous to the attacking team. Because they're kind of
just too far to send it in.
So a few years ago, they changed the rule to move the long corner. So these kind of non-egregious fouls that happen in the scoring area to move them back to the 25-yard line. And it basically means it's like a more attacking position for the. So what you end up with is like kind of less deliberate intent from the defensive team just to give away one of those fouls.
Okay.
Yeah. But the intent of the short corner is to try and kind of penalize fouls that are kind of more likely to have prevented a goal-scoring opportunity.
Okay, understood. And is that a rule that changed universally in field hockey or only here in MCALs?
No, that changed in field hockey. I'm not sure on the timeline, but like when I played, we used to play long corners. But that was many decades ago, Dave.
Well,
so
I was
oh, great!
Really nice.
Oh,
another short corner. But that doesn't look like we're going to be able to get this one off because there's only about 5 seconds left in the game. And as the final horn sounds, that brings to us, I believe, the conclusion of the game. Yes, in fact, it is. And so with that, the Hawks prevail. Rafa, the referee, is having a conversation. It looks like this one's over as the Hawks go to greet the goalie number 44, Spencer Farthing. Spencer, nice game with a shutout, preventing no goals in on the cage for Lick. And so the final score here today, it's Town Pius Red Tail Hawks 2, the Lick Wilmerding Tigers nothing. The Hawks are gathering here on the own 45 to do a cheer, and then they will do the traditional clicking of sticks with the opposing side, congratulating them for a game well played. So, great day here for the JV. They win 2-0. A tougher game for the varsity, who lost their first game of the season 1-0 to the Lick varsity. So, on behalf of my partner, Derek Scobie, I'm Dave Harris, signing off from the Hawks Nest, where we look forward to seeing you this Friday. We're not going to be on TamTV, but we encourage as many of the Hawk families and students to join us at Redwood this Friday for a big game against the Giants. Once again, for Derek Scobie, I'm Dave Harris, signing off. Hawk victory for the JV, 2-0. So long, everybody.